The Batman Part 2 is one of my most anticipated movies of all time, so here's everything they can do to make it the perfect superhero movie. And the first step in making this a perfect movie is not having the Joker in this film. Listen, I understand he's one of the most iconic Batman villains and just villains of all time. We know the Joker is in this universe because of a deleted scenes from the first Batman movie with Barry Keoghan playing him. But I'm sorry, as great as a character as the Joker is, we have just been beat over the head with him lately. Like, we have their own standalone Joker movie and the sequel coming out later this year. He was obviously in The Dark Knight, he's in a ton of the animated shows and movies. He was in the original Batman movie. It's just been way too much of this character. And Batman literally has the most iconic rogues gallery of different villains of all time. We need to explore more of them. So here's a couple different villains I would love them to pick to be the main one in this film. First up is Hush. He has a lot of personal connections to Bruce Wayne, and he's pretty much this genius surgeon guy. And based on some things that happened when he was a kid, he's trying to get revenge on the Wayne family, and he is aware that Batman is Bruce Wayne. I think this would be a really interesting character to explore in a live action movie for once. Clayface might be somewhat difficult because this version of the Batman and Gotham City feels a lot more realistic, so someone like this might be a little out of place, but I believe Matt Reeves could pull him off. And also, I think Mr. Freeze would make a lot of sense, obviously, with the whole thing of Gotham flooding at the end of the first Batman. And he is another super iconic villain that, yes, we have seen in live action movies before, but not as prevalent as the Joker, so this would be refreshing. And my last option for who I think would be a cool villain, maybe more of a behind the scenes thing that we're just alluding to and they become a bigger villain in the Batman Part 3, would be the Court of Owls. They're essentially this secret society that's been controlling Gotham and its crime since its inception. So like I said, maybe not the main villain of this, but if we just get some clues dropped that they're at least in this universe, I'd be very happy with that. I know this is kind of an unpopular take, but I do not want Robin in the Batman Part 2 personally. Now don't hear what I'm not saying. I think Robin is an incredible character and he's a part of some of the greatest Batman stories of all time in the comics in my opinion. But I'm just so interested in just Batman right now in this universe because the first Batman was so good. I feel like I want to have a little bit more standalone stories of just the Bat before we introduce Robin. Hopefully we get a Batman Part 3 and 4 and one of those would be a great time to introduce him though. And please, no matter what you do, do not have as cringy of a Robin reveal as Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character in The Dark Knight Rises. This was just so bad. Catwoman was incredible in the first Batman movie, and I don't want her to go away for good, but I think she should be a little bit sidelined in this film. And in place, I think this would be a good time to introduce the character of Vicky Vale to be Bruce Wayne's new love interest in this film. It would be a good switch up from the Batman and Catwoman dynamic in the first film to the kind of the Bruce and Vicky Vale of this. I also want them to keep this movie more grounded and focused on detective stories like the first one. Because Batman being the world's greatest detective is kind of his entire thing, and this is like the first time in a live action movie we're really seeing it be front and center in his film. And I'm not saying I need it to be 100% grounded in reality. Like I said, if there's like a Mr. Freeze or Clayface, I'm fine with that bending the rules a little bit. But overall, it should stay close to the tone of the first film. Let me know what you want to see in this movie that would make it perfect for you, and hit subscribe for more.